frequency separation, step 5 in the digital makeup process. Now follow along, download the image in the description so you can follow along on the tutorials, and send in your images to the email address provided so I can leave my comments on your images and send you back and tell you how far along you are in the digital makeup process. Now frequency separation, we're going to go ahead and create 2 layers. As for frequency separation, we're going to remove the color layer, the colors from the image, and the textures from the image, which is a high frequency, which is the textures, and the low frequency, which is the colors. Now imagine you have your face and you have a bump right here, a spot right here, another bump, a spot right here. Now this is all textures. Now we want to move the colors out of that so we can have the textures only. Now remember, look, think about taking a picture with your smartphone and you have the beauty app where you can go ahead and smooth out your face, but then if you go too far, it's going to be fake and look like a wax doll or just a candle, just smooth. Now frequency separation is smoothing out the skin but not taking out the textures, which is why we're going to separate the colors from the textures. So now we're going to go ahead and duplicate the layer. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and duplicate the layers 2 times. Command J. If you're on a Windows, it's Control J. So now we're going to name the first layer color and our second layer texture. You can name it whatever you want, but I prefer to look at it and know exactly what I'm doing. So now we're going to move on to the color layer. We're going to saturate or compress the colors and make it one. So we're going to go ahead and go up to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. Now for this, it's a little bit tricky, but you don't want to blur the image too much. So what I normally do is go under the eyes and look at the wrinkles, and just right where the wrinkles start to disappear and get blurry, we're going to stop right there, select OK. Now we're going to select our texture layer, go ahead to Image, Apply Image. Now you're going to be like, whoa, grayed out. Now we're going to select our color layer. Make sure our blending mode is set to subtract. Our scale is set at 2 and 128. I'm going to select OK. Go down to the texture and select our blending mode once more. We're going to change that to linear light. And linear light is just 50% gray, so the image is neutralized. What you are seeing is the whole image is grayed out so that it's neutralized back after you select linear light. Now we're going to group these 2 layers and call this layer frequency separation, or once more, whatever you want to call it. Now let's look at the image. We're going to go ahead and hide these underlying layers. If you go ahead and hide the color layer, you're going to see that the texture layer is still neutralized gray. And then we're going to go ahead, open the color layer. You see it's blurred. But if you open both of them, it's one image. So the color just moved from the texture and the texture is moved from the color, vice versa. Now we're going to go ahead and select our mixer brush. What I like to do is we're going to use the mixer brush to even the tone of the skin. So we're going to hide the texture layer, move on to the color layer, select our mixer brush, and in the top panel we want to make sure our wetness is set to 2 because we don't want to spread the colors too much, and our flow is set to 10. Everything else is set to standard. I'm going to increase the brush size a little bit, and here we want to make sure we're going to brush to where the skin leads. So if your skin leads to the left, you're going to brush to the left. If your skin leads to the right, you're going to brush to the right. So what I like to do is I like to use the mixer brush on the color layer and hide the texture layer. So going ahead, take our time to brush. We're simply just going to brush in the areas where the skin leads and the nose. We're just going to follow along on the nose. It's just like following the lines in your coloring book at basic school or elementary school, whichever you went to. I'm just going to fast forward this once more. Make sure y'all are following at home or in the office. Alright, so guys, as you can see, we're back where we completely set our tones on the image. As you can see, our texture is still in the image, and our colors are smooth and pretty and nice, just as our client would love it. So now you can see that I didn't do the neck or on the shoulders, or you can go ahead and do that if you like. We can go ahead and move that up here, do that. Now that's it. As you can see on the hairlines, we didn't want to blend that out too much to make it look fake once more. We're going for as realistic as possible. In frequency separation, this is like doing real makeup. We're applying your foundation and your concealer. We're using frequency separation to do that. We applied our foundation and concealer. Now we're going to move on to step 6. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for following along in the tutorials. Meet again in step 6.